before you get started, I'd like to congratulate the Cleveland Cavaliers on a heck of a series by them. I thought they showed their championship pedigree. A great example for us, the difference between a regular season and a playoff run. And they're playing at a high level right now. So my hats off to them. I thought Tyler did a great job of preparing his team, having them ready, and just really clicking on a lot of different levels, and just took us out of what we wanted to do in a lot of different areas, and did a great job.
Coach Ken Miller with the Call and Post. As bleak as this moment is right now, is there any bright spot that you can take out of this?
Now, well, the two games that we had the opportunity to win, those were ones we shot ourselves in the foot. Even though they were playing great basketball, Cleveland was, we had an opportunity to put ourselves in position to win. And then after each one of them, we were emotionally drunk, I thought, and just took the wind out of our sail. That was probably the positive, the fact that we put ourselves in position to win. But there's no more victories in the NBA. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And, we got close, but it doesn't count for anything. And they came back tonight and played the way a championship team needed to play. And we didn't after the first quarter.
Did you feel that you had any inkling of any hope of winning this game tonight?
Well, I thought our guys, would come in and compete harder. And, and I told them, they're going to come out and try to throw a haymaker, and how we respond was going to be important. And, for whatever reason, we didn't. And that was disappointing. But like I told our team, that we can't let this series we did some good things this year. We had a heck of a season as far as the regular season is concerned, but there's another level we have to learn to get to and make that commitment to get to as an organization and as a team. And there's a different level, and you just saw it tonight.
Kenny Rhoda, WHBC in the back here. Coach, 3 years in a row, this is the team that's knocked you out. Is it as simple as they have LeBron James?
That's a big part of it. I mean, that's a big part of it. You're looking at probably one of the guys that's going to go down as one of the greatest ever. And, it's a matchup nightmare for anybody. And I think anybody who's played against him will see that. But at some point, that's going to come down. That's going to change. We've seen it all. We've seen it with Michael. We've seen it with Kobe. We've seen it with a lot of great players. And we want to be the one, the Toronto organization wants to be the one who knocks that gate down. For whatever reason, we got the unlucky draw every year of going against them. But, it's going to come a time when that gauntlet is going to come down. And why not us?
You coached against him and beat him when you were an assistant. Now you're here. What
different person? At that time, he has a lot that he probably hadn't experienced. He was trying to figure out the situation in Miami. That was when the zone was cute, just to give a hesitation. And there's some things at that time we tried to do to take some things away from him. And he was still young. That was how many years ago? So that's hard to even compare him now. Now he's seen everything. He's a computer out there. And, it's just a totally different situation, different person, different part of his career.
Dwane, Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun. If you go back about 10 days before the series started, would there have been any inclination in your mind that you could have ever been swept?
No, I didn't. In my heart, I didn't think so. I thought I had all the confidence in the world that we'd come in here and fight, compete, and we did, Steve. I thought we did for 2 games, and really put ourselves in a position when if one of those tip-in goes in at home in the first game, it's a different story. But like I said, close doesn't count. And so it just tells us how small margin of error you have as a team to go against a team, because everybody had counted Cleveland out. They struggled a little bit, had the big trade and all that. Everybody thought they were vulnerable, but as long as they have him, they have a chance. And that's what we're looking at. But 10 days ago, had all the confidence in the world.
So does this feel worse than last year? because of the circumstances?
It hurts. It hurts just because of the season we had, Steve, a franchise record, top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense, and just almost like we flipped the switch. So that's what's disappointing as much as anything else from our coaching staff. Everything we tried to do just didn't click. That's the disappointing part. The difference between last year and this year.
Eric Smith, Sportsnet. You've touched on it a little bit a couple times here. The way that this game went tonight, though, the way that you lost, is that more frustrating than anything getting blown out to this extent?
Well, it's disappointing, because, again, you want to go out fighting, scratching, clawing with your best effort, with your best approach, and not give in when they throw in the haymakers. And believe me, that team is going to beat a lot of teams, again, but you don't want to go down that way and let go of the rope. And that's what's disappointing as much as anything else. And because we've done too many good things throughout the season, in the playoffs against Washington, in the first game, in the game 3, to let go of the rope.
Dwane, PJ Ziegler, Fox 8. What was the biggest difference in your mind in the Cavaliers team that you saw in the regular season and then the one that you faced here in this four-game
Well, the
series?
one we beat by 25 is a totally different team. After the trade, I think LeBron is rejuvenated. The young man, 38 minutes and 29, whatever it was, he's just like a different person now than he was at that time, early in the season. He's playing at an elite level, one that I haven't seen as a coach before, and I've been doing it a long time. And so that in itself is the difference, I think. And at the same time, he's brought everybody up around him to make him more different guard. Kevin Love's a different player right now. I thought Kyle Korver is playing at an elite level now. So Jeff Green, is playing at a different level. George Hill is playing at a different level. So he's raised everybody's level up and made it more difficult. But again, at the same time, for us, it's disappointing that we didn't, compete the way we did for 4 quarters, the way we did in Game 3.
Is there a point in the series where you felt like the tide really shifted towards the Cavaliers? Was there a defining moment?
Well, I thought, again, like I said, I thought we were emotionally drunk in Game 2 and also tonight. After the 2 tough losses, we didn't bounce back as strong as we, should have. That was I thought that was a turning point after Game 1, and also tonight after Game 2 was you could just see it that just the guys wanted to crank it up, but again just was draining. I thought Kyle was drained after his great game in Game 3, and just didn't have it tonight.
Coach Eli Mooney on AP Radio. A lot of praise was sent toward your second unit during the season, and rightfully so. But when starters kind of start struggling like they did in this series, do you feel maybe these guys on the bench try to pick up the slack and maybe feel a little bit extra pressure to kind of get the team back into it?
It's a different game than in the playoffs. It's a totally different approach. Also, too, when LeBron is playing as many minutes as he's playing, they played a lot of their starters against them, which is a great experience for our young guys to go through that, to see that, to feel that, to go against a guy like James who's playing at a high level. And it's a difference. And, we was trying to shuffle the lineup, trying to match to, and ended up breaking up the second unit a little bit. But it was a great experience for those young guys. I thought Anunoby had an excellent series. I know he didn't feel like it, but to get that experience to go against a guy like James and guard him in the tough situation and battle him, I guarantee he learned a lot and will grow a lot from this series.
Coach Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press. 2 questions. One, what was your view of the flagrant foul on DeMar?
I thought he was going for the ball. I don't think he was trying to hurt. I think it was George Hill. I don't think he was trying to hurt him. Clarkson, I'm sorry. I don't think he was trying to hurt him. I thought he was going for the ball, and he swung, but he wasn't going for his head, and it was unfortunate, but, there's no malice, I don't think, on DeMar's part.
And DeMar seemed wanted so much to have a bounce-back game today.
did.
What lessons do you think he takes away from
Well,
this
I don't know if
series?
there's a lesson, Neil. I think the situation with him, he just wanted to bounce back, and I thought he was really trying to get going, get his his motor cranked up, and to make up for the other night. And he tried. And but again, I don't think that play had any malice in it whatsoever.
Dwane, Michael Grange from Sportsnet. Late in the second quarter, when Serge got hurt or hurt himself, you went to Lucas. What were you looking for, and what
Well,
was your thinking
one,
there?
we were having trouble with the blitz for whatever reason. When it went to the big, all year long we had made plays and did a good job. And Lucas is one of our better passers. And for whatever reason, the coaches said, "Hey, we got to get Lucas in. He can break the press. He can break the blitz." And he didn't. I mean, he struggled. And so that was a lesson for us. But he had done it all year long. He had been an excellent passer out of there, and Serge and Jonas had struggled a little bit making plays out, and they did it. And that was another good job of them. I thought tonight their blitzes were much better. I think it was the difference in the game.
Any second thoughts, given like he hadn't played in over 2 weeks? And
Well, I
to
mean,
jump
the
right in
other
there?
option was Jakob, and Jakob had struggled with that too. So we was trying to go with our best passer, and Lucas is by far our best big man passer in that situation.
Thank you.
Coach, I'm with Man Yahoo Canada Sports. What do you think Kyle and DeMar learned from this series?
Oh, well, again, the different, they know. Kyle and DeMar, of all the guys in the locker room, understand the level of play that you got to play against a championship caliber team like Cleveland. So I don't, again, you'd have to ask them what they learned. It's just how difficult the difference is between a regular season and playoff and a championships type team to go against them. But you'd have to ask them what they learned. I don't know what they learned. I thought Kyle played his heart out in Game 3, again, how tough it is, and just remind them how tough it is more because they've been here 3 years in a row. So they understand, they know the level of play that you have to play with.